Well, hello again, everybody. This is part 4 of Black and White Just Because Book Challenge. I finally actually finished my front cover. If you can focus on it, you can see I've put colonial knots and French knots around the edges. I've got a little bit of something there and some cute wheels. Now, this saying is so me, and my husband and I love our motorbikes and we adore our puppy dogs. So I thought this was just so me. And I have been having so much fun over the last couple of days. I've done a few more pages. In the last video, you saw me doing some weaving. Move that. And this is what I've done here. I've finished my weaving and I've made a little, actually, I think I decided to put that way, yes. I've made just a small cluster, as Susan Taylor Brown calls them, with just a few little bits of silver tulle and white tulle and fabric and little beads, and had fun with that one. I really like that. I'm very happy with that. Very pretty. We used to have chooks when the kids were little, and I do love chooks. They're so cute. So that's that one page. I did a chook page. I had this fabric, which is actually an old tea towel, a waffle tea towel, love the texture on it, and I cut out a chook to put on it, and then realised that that covers up all my lovely plaid. So instead I traced around my little tracing and backstitched it, and then I had this gorgeous silver rooster. I'll just go in on that, try and do it slowly. Now, my hubby had a laugh at me because I decided that since it was 3D, you couldn't just stitch it on. You had to dangle it a bit, otherwise it would just not sit right. So I threaded up some pearl thread on my needle, knotted the end, and I brought it through, cut a length, and I did that 3 times. So then I plaited about 1/2 inch, and then I put that through the chook and went to put it back and realised that I had to individually thread each of the pearl threads, something I hate doing, to get it out to the back. But anyway, I did that, tied them off, and then I thought, actually, you know what? I could have just used a thicker pearl thread and done a large loop. Oh well, I do like the little plait. I had some milliner's straw, so I really wanted to do the straw here with the milliner's straw, but it was very thin. So I did some stitches with pearl thread first, and then again I'll focus in on it and see, can you see some of the little bits of straw on there? And then I made a little nest out of tulle and put an egg in it. So we've got mummy chook, daddy chook, and baby chook to be. So that was fun. I did enjoy doing that one. And then I thought, I've done a bit of bling on most of the ones I've done. So let's try doing one without bling. This is just sort of pinned and slightly glued in place. Just some strips of fabric. This is your selvage edge. Winter Wonderful was the name of the fabric. Some of the milliner's straw, some tulle sort of stuff, some ribbons, and as you can see, I've got them all pinned at the moment. I did tack the ends down with glue, so the ribbons will stay in place when I sew them, and I was keen to finish that, but I'm going to be on duty tomorrow at our local community art gallery where I'm a member, so I thought, take that with me to sew and get another one ready to go on the other side. And I want to do, I'll just slowly go over here, a winter scene. So these will be the pieces making up the background. Oh, it's just gone out of focus. I don't know why. It's doing something funny. And so I just quickly drew a bit of a plan, cut up the pieces to make a pattern. I decided to just use some grey fabric on the back since you won't see it. But then I had a thought. The sky I want to have white with snow in it. Well, when you put the white on white's quite thin, that doesn't look very white. So I went out to the studio and got some plain white here, and that looks much whiter on that. And I think you can still see the pattern a little bit, and I'll do some seed stitching. I did wonder about putting it on silk, and I thought, no, it doesn't look as white, and then you're covering up lovely silk. So we'll do that. So I'll redraw this on the plain white, And then I grabbed some fabrics. I thought I definitely want dark mountains, and then I'll stitch snow tops on them. And then I'm not really sure just exactly what I'll put where, but here's a little selection of fabric. That's a different white on white for the snow. This is actually the back of the black, which is quite interesting. I don't mind using a bit of grey with this. So there's several bits I will think about, and I'll take that block with me tomorrow to sew as well. What else? Oh yes, I did, well, quietly, slowly go over to the other one, because it makes you dizzy if you go too fast. I remember that I do have about 10 jars of bibs and bobs. This is buttons, but I've got beads and all sorts. So I have found a few more bits to put on things. Oh, that's interesting. And we'll see what we end up with. And now I've remembered another block. Now, some of the girls doing this have decided to put a little bit of colour in it. And I must admit, I quite like that idea, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do it or not. Here's a piece that's made up of all the little triangles I cut out while making COVID masks. And I had them all sewn down, and then I found this one. And if I go in close, see, she has little red lips. That's Betty Boop. I meant to research her, but I think she's from like the 1940s. She looks to me as if she could have been the original inspiration for Jessica Rabbit. And then I thought, let's put it on a bit of a twist. That'll be fun. I stitched it down on one side, and then I went, ooh, that could be a secret hidey hole. So I had a look at my other Betty Boop fabrics, and I went, ta-da! So there's a splash of red hidden in my black and white book. There's Betty Boop in one of her classic poses, and I popped some red buttons on her, and that's all hidden. I think when I sew it on the book, I might embroider a little arrow here, just in case people don't notice. Look at my hands. Don't you love it when you get into your 60s and your hands are all spotty, when they used to look so lovely? Anyway, so there's Betty Boop. So that's another page. So that's 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, a front cover, and then the landscape one over there. So that gives me 6 pages. I'm putting 3 pieces of felt in the book. So with the cover, and by the time you fold them over, that actually gives me 16 pages. So there's not quite halfway yet, but having heaps of fun doing it. I know everybody else I've watched has been enjoying doing it. So if you haven't heard of this before, I don't think it's too late to do one. I'm certainly hoping it's not, because I'm having fun. And I've said fun too many times. But goodbye for now.